Hi, Scott Tipton. I wanted to be able to give you an update from Washington on the issues that we've been working on behalf of the 3rd Congressional District in our state. Very pleased to be able to report to you that we were able to advance the Hermosa Creek legislation through the Natural Resources Subcommittee, and we'll be pushing our chairman to be able to actually hold a full markup on this bill so that we can get it on the House floor. It was a great example, really, of our communities being able to come together on an area specific to southwest Colorado. We saw snowmobilers, farmers, ranchers, conservationists, miners be able to come together to be able to seek some solutions on public lands to make sure that access was preserved, but also the importance of protecting water and a variety of other issues as well. We look forward to seeing this legislation move forward soon. Also very pleased to be able to report to you that yesterday on the House floor, we were able to pass with bipartisan support our Protecting Our Water Rights Act, something that is critical to the people of the 3rd Congressional District, our state, and in fact the entire western United States. As many of you are probably aware, the National Forest Service, as a conditional use of permit, we're going to require ski areas who put in millions of dollars into developing private water resources to be able to make snow for the winter season. We're going to be required to sign over those water rights to the federal government if they want to be able to get that operational permit renewed. We then saw that starting to expand onto BLM lands as well. Reports from ranchers that if they wanted to be able to get grazing permits renewed, they were going to have to sign over water rights that they had paid for and that they had developed to the federal government if they wanted to get the grazing permit renewed. Colorado, we generously would call that a taking. In reality, it would be theft because no compensation was going to take place. This was a violation of the U.S. Constitution in the 5th Amendment, meaning that you have to have just compensation in the event of a taking. But in Colorado, as we all know, water is literally the lifeblood of our state and something that we need to be able to protect. And that's what this bill simply does. It simply codifies the practices that we've had in the state of Colorado since 1876 when our state was founded, to make sure that water is a private property right, that we protect our state law, and we protect the priority systems that we have. This is commonplace in the western United States. It was being attacked by rules and regulations that no member of Congress had asked for, but were simply coming out of bureaucracies. This legislation was a response to those actions to make sure that we're codifying once and for all that this is a private property right. We will abide by state law and our priority-based systems. Again, very pleased that we were able to garner bipartisan support for this legislation. Senator Barrasso out of Wyoming has been kind enough to carry companion legislation for us in the United States Senate, where he has 7 original co-sponsors already on this legislation. We'd certainly like to see our Colorado senators embrace this as well, because this is not a Republican or a Democrat issue. This is a Colorado issue. It's about our water and its need to be protected. So we're looking forward to working with the Senate to make sure that this legislation truly advances and we protect something that is near and dear to the heart of every Coloradoan, and that is water. Along those same lines, when we keep in mind that when it comes to protecting our water, it was threatened by a regulatory action that came out of the bureaucracy, no requests from members of Congress in terms of legislation. We need to make sure that we're holding the executive branch accountable, enforcing and protecting the laws that are indeed passed by both bodies of Congress. To that end, I voted in support of the Enforce Act. What the Enforce Act will do is make sure that the President must enforce the laws that have been passed by Congress, not being allowed to pick and choose what portion of a law that he might like to embrace. This is a positive step forward. Be it a Republican or a Democrat president, we have a system of government, of checks and balances that were provided by the Constitution of this country. The Enforce Act is a move in the right direction to be able to help achieve that. There's one other piece of legislation that we've talked about before that we're continuing to promote and hope that the Senate will take up soon. We've passed it through the full House of Representatives. It is called the REINS Act, which again will bring accountability to the bureaucracy and be able to get Congress involved in that rulemaking authority to be able to address overreaches by the bureaucracy, or if it didn't meet the legislative initiatives that were originally put forward. So these are some of the issues that we're working on in Washington. We'll continue to make sure that we're standing up for creating jobs and getting our people back to work and This coming week, we're going to have an opportunity to be able to sit down with women-owned businesses in the 3rd Congressional District, to be able to hear their concerns and to see where some government rules, regulations, and laws are perhaps helping and where they're hurting as well, and to be able to get that feedback to get our economy moving and our people back to work in our district. Again, we certainly want to hear from you here in our Washington office or our congressional offices throughout the 3rd Congressional District. We welcome your input, your thoughts, and your ideas. Thanks so much, and we look forward to seeing you soon.